All right, 11 o'clock. Probably fished for about an hour today, and been sick all week, and I just got to get out and do something. I mean, I'm sweating in here right now, but probably regret it later. Hopefully we catch enough fish that I don't. We'll find out. Give it about an hour, though. Shut this aside. There we go. Last time I was out here on the pond, I fished up shallow like this. I'm only in 3 foot right now, and I can't say I'd ever really ice fished that shallow in the pond, and it felt like a whole new place. It's probably been a week and a half or so since I've been out here, but there's a couple other guys out here the same day, and nobody was really catching fish. Not sure what the deal was, and I came up into 3 foot range, and I just started tearing them up. So that's kind of where I'm starting today. Just got going maybe 2 minutes ago. We're in 3 foot of water. I can see the bottom. We'll just see if they come up here in the shallows, and then if not, maybe that was just a fluke on the day. It was really sunny that day. Snow had melted off. Maybe that pulled them up shallow, but we're going to give this a shot since it was so hot last time, and then give it 20 minutes. If nothing comes through, then move out on the deeper normal stuff we fish. Pond's been pretty good this year overall. Bluegill numbers certainly seem down compared to years past. A lot of stuff happened out here on the pond this year. I can't really... I got a weird clamp on my phone right now, so I can't see that. Does the weather affect the depth or mostly temp? I think it both can play equal factors. Big thing can be cloudy versus sunny for sure. That's kind of what I was just talking about on the last time I was out here. I was catching those fish up in like 3 foot of water, and there's a couple guys out here that weren't catching them. And, I just kind of started trying different stuff, and I think it was the weather that day. It was extremely sunny. It had been warm for a couple days leading up to it. That had gotten all of the snow melt off, and, I think the vegetation actually may be improving slightly out here. The first hole I drilled had quite a bit of grass in it, and I hadn't really seen too much of that this year. So, I think the weather certainly can factor into it. The cold... I don't know if the temperature does as much. I don't know underneath the ice how much that temperature really changes, but like right now it says 37 for water temp, but I don't know too much on the water temp, but definitely the weather. I think cloudy and sunny is a pretty big factor in ice at times. The pond's been decent this year though. Like I said, the bluegill numbers certainly have been down. I don't think that's anybody's fault. So the bluegills, there was a big fish kill out here in like June, July. I mean, I'm out here all the time, and it's just, if you wouldn't have been out here that week, you would have never known. And, it was probably mid-June, July, and man, it was there was a lot of big bluegills out here dead. So I think that certainly hurt them a little bit. But are they eating a chatterbait? Man, I wish. I was thinking this yesterday that I'm already starting to think about the boat a little too early this year. And chatterbait was probably my best lure last year. Lucky to have ice there. Yeah, we are for sure. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of in the shack purposely. I don't want to encourage anybody to even come out and necessarily try this because, I'll kind of show you here. I've got good ice where I'm at. I don't know how well you'll really be able to see that, but there's a good. I mean, there's 6+ here where I'm at, but this pond has open water on it as well. So can't say that it's even safe. You definitely got to know where you're at, spud, and all that. So anybody central Iowa, I don't encourage you to go out right now by any means. Man, I thought about bringing out the boat tomorrow. I drove by Little River yesterday and I was thinking about it. I would not mind, but I got a feeling this hour today out here is going to be about all I can take, though. I've been extremely sick the last week and a half. Whole household has, and I just had to get out today. I'm sweating like a pig right now, and that's why I feel like I'm underdressed for this, but I had to do something. I've been cooped up in the house way too much. Yeah. I feel that. I thought about taking out the boat on the Des Moines for Christmas. Christmas Day was so warm, but I just wasn't feeling up to it. And I'm sure a couple people got their boats out this week. Happy holidays to you. You ever fish Red Rock? Yeah, so it's been a long time since I fished Red Rock, but we fished it super, super early back when I worked at Bass Pro. It was probably 10, 12 years ago. Me and a couple of the guys in the fishing department there. I feel like maybe we figured out white breast before white breast got out, but oh man, yeah, this my best crappie days on the ice ever have came out of Red Rock, which is kind of crazy for how good those days went that I haven't been back in as long as I have. It's actually on my radar this year. Same with Rathbun. I've never ice fished Rathbun, and I'd really like to get out on both of those. But my few ice trips on Red Rock 12, 13 years ago, just jumbo crappies. I mean, it was phenomenal. Just mind-blowing. I haven't went back. But hopefully this year we can. We'll see. I don't know. This ice season's been so hit and miss that who really knows what to expect. I'm already starting to think, though, I'm going to have to move. And like I said, this shallow deal, man, it was awesome the last time I was here, but I haven't seen a fish yet. So I might give this maybe another 5 minutes. Maybe I'll try and talk a little bit less. I think that obviously can get them a little skittish too right under the hole, but they do not seem to be up shallow like they were. Kind of show you what I'm throwing. I'm throwing a little Tika Flash. I really became a fan of this thing this year. It was loaded up with some waxies, and it's been catching all the better bass out of here. The panfish still bite it, but it seems like I'm catching bass with more frequency using that thing just compared to like a jig head loaded up with waxies. Only thing that's tough about moving today is that wind's howling, and I love this shack. I've had this thing for over 10 years now. I've replaced the canvas on it once, but I love the shack. The only downside is days like today where it's windy. This thing can be a pain to move. It just, especially when there's no snow on the ice like today, wind, moving and getting positioned over my holes can be a real challenge. So even on a super small body of water like this where I'm only moving 10, 15 feet, it still can be a pain. So yeah, I wasn't sure on the lighting too. I had this one open at the start, and I think that glare over my shoulder was really messing it up. But the other three windows, it seems to be doing good on the lighting. It is, like I said, it's a pain to move this thing though, because it's just a kite and it's just a shack. And are you able to drill holes? You know, you probably could. I haven't, because since you probably could drill a hole in the shack, but since the way it's a full tray, you would just fill it up with ice and water. So I never have. I've always drilled and then pulled it over. But yeah, you could, but it would just get real messy inside here real quick. Tournaments next year. Oh man, that's a bad question. I don't know what I'm doing next year. So my boat motor's blown up. I don't know how much I've talked about that, but the motor, the Opti on the Ranger's toast. So it's still running. I mean, it'll run, but it's got issues. It's got compressor going out. I've got 2 cylinders that are scorched. Not great. I mean, the Opti's on its deathbed. So I'm going to run it until it drops. I don't know how long that'll go. I mean, it's got life. I mean, it's not like it still won't get out and run 70. I mean, it's running. But knowing what I know now about it, planning tournaments, it's difficult for me to do right now. You know, I want to do some stuff up on the river. Hard for me to plan that stuff up there. I mean, like I said, maybe the boat would be fine, but just knowing what I know, I don't know. Tournaments are hard to plan right now. I normally already have my whole schedule for the year planned out, and a little different this year. I'm not sure what we're gonna do. I'm thinking about doing a repower. I've been looking at a Suzuki for a repower over there in Kellogg. Been talking to Sheldon about maybe throwing a Suzuki on it, but I don't know. We'll see. We got a month or two yet before that. Kayak tournament, yeah. You know, I need to do that. I've never actually done a kayak tournament. I've never done an ice tournament either. That's something we're definitely going to do this year. I think I'm going to check out that Holiday Lake tournament and the Dakins tournament. Just kind of 2 easy ones to try out for the first time. I've never done ice tournaments. Gosh, maybe someone in the comments can actually answer this for me. What do you do with your fish in an ice tournament? Like, I mean, I'm assuming you have a live well and you keep them alive, or get one of those nets where you drop it down in the hole and keep them alive like that. I don't even know what you do with your fish in an ice tournament, but gonna try at least 2 of those this year. There's the Dakins and the Holiday Lake one. To the stand. They measure them and release it. Yeah, that might be. So how? I mean, that. I guess you just have to keep them alive. Like if you're on a big lake, on a little lake like Dakins, that'd be real easy. I mean, you could catch and just walk over your catch. But I guess if you were on a bigger lake, like maybe 12 miles, 3 miles, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, that would make sense at Dakins for sure. I could see that at Dakins. You just kind of catch them, walk over. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely do that this year. It's a fun little spot. I tried to fish it earlier this year and it wasn't ready, and I haven't been back. But that's not a bad spot. Yeah, that Suzuki, I don't know. I like Sheldon to death. He's a great guy, and he's got me leaning that way, but I don't know, because that is my concern on the Suzuki is outside of Sheldon. I don't know how great my service is going to be other places if I ever needed it. So that is one hesitation. I know Sheldon would always take care of me, get it done correctly, whatever I needed, but I do worry about outside of him where I may get that service. Try the monthly online turn. Yeah, those online tournaments, I certainly have been looking at some of those too. For as much as I'm fishing, I mean, it's like, why not? I mean, a lot of those tournaments, they're pretty inexpensive to get into. Just, obviously more content generation, just more story to the fish. And yeah, I've certainly looked at a couple of those for next year. I mean, you're already out there, and I'm already documenting almost everything I do anyways. So what's taking a picture and submitting it, a couple times on some fish. I'm hoping next year, for you guys on the live, you'll get a little early info on this one here. I'm hoping that next year, speaking of tournaments, I should be running a few Wednesday nights on Big Creek. I haven't said anything about this yet, so if you're on the live, you're getting this before the word's even out, and it may not even be official because I still got to work out the insurance wrinkle on things. But I'm working through the last process on that, and assuming the insurance stuff's going to work out, I do have funding for it where I'm going to do a Wednesday night out at Big Creek. I'm going to do 3 of them. Each tournament's going to have an additional 500 added into the pot. So it'd be pretty decent little weeknight tournament. And, like I said, hoping to do 3 of those at Big Creek, 500 added to the pot. Entry will probably be about $40 a boat. And, if we pay just first place, that'd be like a over 1K jackpot for maybe a 15 boat tournament out on Big Creek. So I'm going to try and get those going next year. Just a couple of them. Like I said, 3 of them. The last thing I'm working on is I just got to get the insurance taken care of for it. Being that it's going to be sponsored by an insurance company, we got to have insurance on the event. And it's a little bit more difficult to obtain than I was thinking. I've insured some other clubs in the state in the past, and now the last couple of years, there's obviously all the stories I'm sure you've heard about in the news with boat wrecks and stuff like that, and underwriters are certainly more cautious now. So it's a little bit more of a wrinkle than I expected, but the hard part's out of the way, at least getting funding, and we'll just hopefully that'll be an announcement soon as a little Wednesday night jackpot series out at Big Creek this year. Yeah, I hope it'd be fun for everyone. That's we used to fish a lot of Big Creek tournaments back when I worked at Bass Pro. We did an employee Wednesday night out there, and I don't know if you guys know Jamie Renshaw. He was the fishing lead there at Bass Pro for years, and I considered him the king of that lake. I still do for bass, and maybe someone's moved in the last couple of years, but that guy, he used to just take all our lunch money every dang tournament out there. But those were always super fun. We used to always get the employees out there, and it'd just be a good venue to bring it back to. Good proximity for a lot of people, and hopefully, with that extra $500 in the pot, we can get a decent number of boats. I'd like to see 15 to 20 or so. That would definitely kick first over $1,000 on a jackpot style tournament. All right, I gotta move. This has been, that's kind of why I'm purposely staying in the shack. Is I don't want to encourage anybody on the ice right now. I'm good. I kind of showed it at the start of the live. I've got almost 6 inches where I'm at, but this pond has open water. I mean, there's a seam back behind me. There's a little pocket over here that's open. Some of the access was bad. Some access was good. I mean, it's, yeah. I mean, I'm on good ice right here, but even just on this little puddle, it's not good. So it should hold together through tomorrow, and then next week it's all cold. But yeah, the ice is sketchy at best. So all right, I'll see you in a second. I'm just gonna leave this thing running. I already got some holes drilled up. I kind of got me a couple spots on the lake already, pond as I should say, but I'm gonna get switched over somewhere because this shallow is just not working right now. We'll be right back. Sweet. Okay. That wasn't as bad as it could have been. Sometimes in that wind, this thing just becomes a kite and I can't control it and I get real pissed and we go home quick. Okay. There we go. Now we're out in 7 foot, more in the normal depth on things. See if things can change here. Oh yeah. Yeah, on the camera I gotta close the holes because I've done that where it's I've got to watch my camera. Ooh, whoa, we got fish right away. Okay, I'm gonna shut up for a second because we need to catch something. Ooh, as soon as my lure hit the water. That's a good sign, at least saw something. PB largemouth. You know, I don't know. I like the claim. I have 2 9s. I don't know. I caught them in high school. The biggest fish I ever caught came in high school. Both of them. I've got a handful of verified 8s. I mean, for sure, I've got some 8s. Got one out of Rathbun, 12 mile, bead, a couple out of bead, Hawthorne. I've got a handful of 8, but past that, I can't say anything's verified. I mean, I've had some verified 8s. I've got 2 fish I can look back at high school and memory pictures, everything tell me they're bigger than that, but I can say 8, I claim 9, but probably an 8 with time and exaggeration with fishing. Biggest this year was just under 8, 714. That was in November at the end of the year. This year was weird. I had a really weird year when it came to big fish. I started off extremely slow. Normally, Normally the end of March into the first couple weeks of April, I mean, that's go time for me. I'm usually out there with jerk baits, just railing big ones. That did not happen this year. Uh-oh. Really, my big fish didn't start until June. I think is when I really start. Like, I don't think I had a 5-pounder until June this year. So that was pretty abnormal. But once we got the first one, they started rolling. You know, June through November. But it was a really slow start this year for bigs. Okay, come on. There's a couple fish. That's a good sign, though. At least we made the move, and I'm at least seeing some stuff now. Oh yeah, here we go. We might be getting our first one. Looks like a decent fish, too. Come on. Oh, he's just right there, just staring at it. Come on, dude. Okay. Well, that was as close as we've gotten to catching one today. He swam right off. That's the one thing that can be frustrating about this pond is, well, ponds in general is, ponds can just shut off. I mean, you can come out here and no matter how much I know it, fish it, you can come out here and not catch fish. I mean, actually the other live on the channel from, it was maybe summer or fall when I came out here, I didn't catch a fish. I mean, I hope that doesn't happen again today, but you know, as great as this little place can be and as, you know, as many as I can catch out of it, just ponds, they can just shut down. I mean, there's just nothing you can do about it. I mean, you don't have that much water to fish, and you know, something like, let's say Little River can shut down, and 95% of that lake can be shut down, but there's still going to be somewhere that those fish are biting. And in a pond like this, I have a hard time finding that logic. I mean, they shut down, There's just not, there's nowhere for you or them to go. Will a 6-foot jerkbait be good for like 15 deep pond? It's 44 degrees outside. Yeah, as long as you've got water clarity. That's the key drive of a jerkbait, is you have to have water clarity. I've tried jerkbaits every possible way. I've tried them in dirty water. I've tried going against the norms, and it just doesn't work. So if you've got clear water, yes, fish will really come after a jerkbait. You know, that's one thing. We might have our next potential taker. But yeah, on the jerkbait, a shallow jerkbait can definitely work, and you know, I would consider 6 foot a shallower jerkbait. I guess it's probably a low range of shallow, but yes, 6 and up certainly could catch it in 15 foot. It just, like I said, you gotta have water clarity. If they'll water clarity, they will follow a jerkbait pretty far, and they will come up to them pretty far too. Okay. I got a small one looking at it right now. There we go. At least we got something on the board. Oh, that's not even small. All right. I swear, sometimes judging those fish on the scope, I'm horrible at it, because I would have told you that this was an absolute dink. I mean, it looked like as big as my jig on the screen, but that's actually a solid gill. So we'll let him keep his little mealworm there and hopefully catch another. It's again on the Tika Flash there, just tipping it with some waxies, and got my new bait puck here from, I don't know if you can read that, or if that's going to be backwards for you, but Kramer Custom Rods and Tackle. It's a local Iowa company out of Masonville, and he sent me some plastics to try out, and then a bait puck, which I actually really needed one because I just had broke mine stepping on it, and Plastics look great. I'll show you guys some of those real quick. I used them the other day when I was out. I haven't used them today, but I tried them. I caught a couple bluegills on this one over at Hawthorne. I tried to do a video out at Hawthorne the other day, and I didn't catch enough, but to make a video of it. But here's some of the, I don't know how well you'll be able to see these, but just a lot of good colors. Little normal size plastics you'd use. I really like those orange ones. But a lot of stuff there. Yeah, check out, he's got a website. I'll try and link it if I can, maybe after the live, but he does custom rods, plastics, a bunch of stuff like that. Good guy. I want to support local Iowa stuff anytime I can, so make sure you check that out. How far north? So I didn't go north. I'm right by my house. So I'm in that Marshalltown area, and you nailed it. What ice you felt comfortable with. I mean, even out here on this little spot, I mean, it's not all good. I mean, I'm on a good 6 inches, but there's open water. There's bad access. Some of the banks are not good. Some of them are fine, but access is questionable. There is a couple open water pockets. I mean, it's what you feel comfortable with, but you know, here it's good, but yeah, I mean, even this is pretty dang tore up at this point. You know, it'll survive. Come Monday, temps are going to drop back down, and should be fine from there. Things are going to really lock back up, so at least we finally caught one. I've seen a couple now. I've only been over here 10 minutes, and at least I've seen a couple. Had one come in. It didn't bite. One's bit. I don't know. I'll probably give it another 20, 25 minutes. I'm struggling more than I'm letting off with this cold stuff. It's been really whooping my ass, and I needed to do something today. It's been a little bit. So I guess I'll ask you guys a question. If maybe any tips or anything, I'll take them. So we're doing a trip up at Clear Lake in 2 weeks. We got one of those sleeper houses. We're renting one from Kevin Paul's guide service up there. And I don't know if anybody's got anything about, I've never night fished. I've never ice fished at night. I can't say I've ever really specifically targeted walleye or any of those kind of things. So it's going to be a whole new experience. It's me with 3 of my high school buddies. Those 3 guys fishing, they don't care. I mean, they're going to go. It's going to be fun. You know, they're just more out there for the adventure, out on the ice. Going to be a good time. But I don't know what to expect on the fishing up there. I've never ice fished at night. I'm really looking forward to that. I've never spent a lot of time on Clear Lake either. That's something that I'm going to try and get up there next weekend to work on it ahead of time before the guys come up the following. But, you know, my experience ice fishing Clear Lake has been a lot of dinky fish. It's, you know, obviously has good ones. I really found a liking for that lake this summer, the couple times I got the boat there through the TBF stuff. And it definitely changed my opinion on the lake. I think it's a lot better lake than I would have given it credit for off of my ice fishing trips up there. But, you know, I don't know what to expect. I'm sure we'll still catch a lot of small fish, but, you know, any tips to weed through them, get any of the bigger ones. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to the night stuff. I don't know, perhaps set up some tip-ups, another thing I've never done before. Just going to be a lot of new stuff on that trip. That should be a fun one. Not sure if we'll do a video on it. We'll probably be a little too rowdy for that, you know, getting together with 3 guys, and I'll say their focus isn't the fishing, so I don't know how you know, PG that will be for YouTube. We'll see. Glow lures. That is the one. Yeah, I did pick up. That's actually the one thing I have picked up so far. I actually just got. I always think it's so crazy in ice fishing. Like, That's literally all you bring is just one little box. I mean, I got some box with some plastics here, but if you want to know the secrets, that's all I got. This, some jig heads, the pin heads, Tika Flash, and these little pre-rigged Ratzos have a special place in my heart. I've caught a lot of good bluegills on those black Ratzos, but it's just kind of crazy how small the tackle box can be. Where, yeah, I'm looking at this Clear Lake trip now and doing overnights, and I'm like, I got to get some gear. There's just stuff I don't have. Just at Clear Lake on Christmas. Yeah, it was on my mind. I'm gonna regret this today already. I can tell you, come about 3 o'clock, I'm gonna be, man, that one bluegill was not worth it. But that's all right. I had to get out the house. I was going crazy being pent up like that. Yeah, so something on these fish today. They're not. Yeah, kind of like I said on the pond bite, how a pond can just be on and off. I don't think there's a matter of you can find them when you're in a half acre, 3/4 acre pond. I mean, if they shut off, they shut off. But the fish are very, very glued to the bottom today. Like since I've moved over here and I'm in the little deeper water now, I am seeing a few more fish, but I mean, they're just like speckles in the bottom. It's not even, they're glued. I mean, their belly's rubbing the dirt right now. Small rattle baits. Yeah, I wonder, I can't show you. I did buy one. Got one of those Rapala jig and wraps. That was kind of one of the rattle style baits I was thinking. I figure I'll go into Clear Lake Bait and Tackle there, and they'll probably spend too much of my money too. But I did try and pick up a couple things ahead of time. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll have to... Oh. I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to pay attention to this first, because that looks hungry. And it looks good. It's coming right to me. Come on. Come on. Oh, no way. I mean, that came in like it was going to do something. Oh, it's coming back. Changed his mind. Damn it. There we go. All right. Maybe a little smaller than the last one, but that's all right. Not a bad gill, and at least we're catching a couple now. I would have been pretty upset if 2 lives in a row out here I didn't catch nothing, but that's all right. We're getting on the board. But yeah, the drop in a second rod, that's something I'm really gonna have to. I can't believe I'm not using this thing. Actually, I should switch over to it. I just bought probably the nicest ice combo I've ever bought. I just bought a new one the other day. This clam meat stick combo. That pretty nice setup. The rod and reel, and surprised I'm not using it. But yeah, I definitely need to have a couple rods ready and be thinking more like that. You know, almost like when a fish blows up on a frog and you clean up with the Senko kind of deal. That Clear Lake trip's certainly going to be just different than what I'm used to. I mean, I'm so used to just bluegills, crappie, and bass show up when they do that it'll be fun. It'll be a good little challenge, and obviously be a good time hanging out with the bros. Yeah, gold jigs. That's actually one I've heard of too. That you're not the first person to say that on gold jigs. I was that was actually a color I meant. I don't think I actually got any of them. I didn't because yeah, Tyson's. If you got a chance this weekend, I think through Sunday, Tyson's has all ice jigs on sale or all ice tackle on sale for 20% off. So the big thing I picked up was they have a 3-pack of those Tika Flash, and I think those are like $7.99 a piece. But they have a 3-pack that's like $16.99, and then the 20% off. So you end up getting 3 for like $15 when normally they'd be about 24. So the Tysons in Marshalltown was pretty picked over already. I mean, that's my local one, but yeah, all the ice tackles like 20% off right now. Jig heads, plastics, all that stuff. And Tyson's actually has a sneaky little ice fishing section compared to some other places. You know, they don't have a ton, but they have exactly what you need. I mean, I really like those Widowmaker jigs that they sell there. They got all the clam jigs, Pinhead Pros, Tika Flash. I mean, they've Rapala jig and wraps. They've, you know, Tyson's doesn't have a Fleet Farm, you know, kind of ice section, but they've got the goods. It's actually the only place I've consistently found waxworms this year too. I had someone tip me off for that a month or so ago, and that's been the only place I can get healthy waxworms. Where's your favorite place to shop for all things fishing? Ooh. You know, that's a hard question. The real answer would be nothing in Iowa. At least nothing I'm aware of in Iowa. Not to shit on a business if maybe there is someone that's got all the goods. But I swear, some of the best tackle shops have just been these mom and pops I found. Like when I was over in Tennessee, my dad, he lives on Watts Bar, Tennessee River Chain. Just those tackle shops over there are just mind blowing what they have in those places. I mean, you compare it to like a Bass Pro, and you just it's like you think Bass Pro is being a poser. Like you go into these mom and pop shops and the stuff they have compared to like Bass Pro, you're just like, why can't you guys figure this out? I mean, the mom and pop shops, I swear, are the way to go. Especially like when I went down to Lake Fork a couple years ago, those shops down there, just mom and pop shops. I mean, just they got the goods. So, you know, uh, big retail. Big retail, I probably go Bass Pro, not because they have the best selection. I don't think they have the best selection. They have a very generic selection in my opinion, but I got the card there, you know, so I rack up a ton of points. I get a bunch of free shit there off my points, and you know, they have the club member Mondays where you get 10% off or 15% off, whatever it is, and I kind of default to Bass Pro because of that, but yeah, Fleet Farm's a really good one too, though. Um, seems like that's always where I have to go when Bass Pro doesn't have what I need, but I default to Bass Pro a lot because of that. I like that discount. What is it? Discount fishing tackle. I think it's just discount, maybe discount bait tackle or discount fishing tackle. It's a website, but they always seem to be $1 to $2 cheaper on everything. Like chatterbaits are $8 when they're normally 10, and I get a lot of stuff online from that place. And then Tackle Warehouse, obviously. I mean, that's the anything you need is going to be there. Yeah, I agree. The mom and pops just kind of don't really have a chance around here, it seems. Yeah, I didn't ice fish for the longest time. I mean, I've ice fished my whole life, or fished my whole life pretty much, but um, it took me a long time to get into ice fishing. I fished for 10 plus years before I even tried ice fishing. And again, that was back when I worked at Bass Pro. Those guys kind of got me going on it. So, um, even now, I mean, ice fishing's not my favorite thing. I don't, um, you would think I like it a lot more than I do, considering I'll be one of the first people out there, or maybe last people out there, and as much as I do it. But for me, it's almost more just like a necessity. If I'm gonna go fish, this is what you got to do, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go fishing. But um, you know, yeah, I would go crazy without ice too, because then I couldn't do anything. I did that the first 10 years of fishing, where I sat on my thumb for winter, and I yeah, once I finally started, I'm like, okay, well, this is what we're doing every winter for now on. But and it is super fun. Don't get me wrong. I'll talk down on it just because we're in the cold on a frozen lake, but it is really fun, especially when you catch a big one. I mean, some of the bigger catches I've had through ice, I think, are some of the most rewarding catches I've ever had. I mean, um, you know, I've caught some 15-inch crappie in my life, and I can remember every one I've caught through the ice. I mean, caught a lot of big bass through that. Caught a lot of big bass, and I can remember every one I've caught through the ice. I mean, it definitely adds a layer, just a layer of challenge. And I feel like a lot of people like ice fishing more than open water, almost like people that don't normally fish. I've taken, like if I take my girl out, or maybe take some of my other friends out that aren't fishermen, kind of stuff. I feel like a lot of people that, like my kids, the kids like ice fishing more than the boat. I just think it's more digestible for them. It's just more their speed. I think sometimes bass fishing in the boat, I think, newer people maybe get overwhelmed with all the casting, getting hung up, adjusting your plastic. I mean, just all the stuff that can come with open water fishing, where, I found a lot of people I take out ice fishing that don't fish, they end up really liking it, and then I'll take them out in the boat and they prefer ice fishing. So it's definitely got its place, and it's fun. But if I could melt the lake right now, I would. I'll leave it at that. Maybe now you'll agree drinking it. You can't go making me laugh with things. I might choke too much. I'm still getting over this sick, but yeah, I'm sure there's that Clear Lake weekend here in a couple weekends. I'm sure that's gonna be nothing short of a booze fest. So that's why I don't know how much video we'll get done on that one. We might be a little too rowdy on that one. Getting back with the high school buddies, and who knows what can happen. Yeah, that's what. Well, I'm both those comments. I totally agree. Ice fishing is way more social. Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. I mean, especially just like out with my kid. I mean, we're just, sitting together, talking buddy buddy, and, um, in the boat, I can get so focused forward what I'm doing. He's just kind of back there at times where, yeah, I definitely think that it's much more sociable. Sociable, same thing, but maybe I made up a word. Oh, here we go. Come on. Got one right under it right now. Right under it. Come on. That one's turned around. Right when I was gonna say it's swimming away. Nice. I had almost given up on that one. I thought he was a goner, and he just turned right around and smoked it. Yeah, we're looking forward to that too. We're gonna do a catch and cook. I don't eat fish really, but I'm sure you guys have figured that out as much as watch the channel and everything else. But when we do that Clear Lake trip, we are gonna do some catch and cook stuff, and I think that's something that the guys will like it for sure. So, if you got any recipes or anything, I'm interested. I'm not a very good cook by any means. That's what my girl's for, but we'll, I guess we're still good on that. I'm going to bring an air fryer. That's kind of how I thought might be the easiest way to cook them, is just bring an air fryer and plug it in and let it do its work. But we'll see. Definitely gonna cook up a few on the ice, and like I said, if anything, I think that'd just kind of be cool for the guys to do. I know they'll appreciate that for sure. What's up, man? Christmas loot? Not very good. It drained my bank account. Stocking up the kids on Funko Pops, and that's the big thing for the kids right now that my kids wanted was Funko Pops, and girl and boy are in like a little mini collection war with each other on them. Stocked up on a lot of those for Christmas. What did I get for Christmas? Well, I guess, yeah, I bought myself that dead stick combo that I haven't even tried yet today. It's certainly been slow. Been New Year's Day shooting. Maybe shooting isn't shots. I'll definitely probably have a few shots on New Year's. Been slow today though. Overall, I've caught 3. Been 50 minutes, so it's been slower. It's also midday too. Maybe a morning or evening. The power hour would do a little bit better, but been slower, seems slower. Even the fish that have come through that haven't been interested, like I said, they've just been, they're dragging belly in the bottom. They haven't really been coming off the bottom today much. I was really hoping we'd see a bass today though. That's what, like with that Tika Flash, I've been catching some good bass out of here, and I don't know how many if you've seen any of the shorts or anything, but I've been posting a lot of underwater footage. There's posting a lot of big bass, big catfish, a couple crappie, been posting a lot of the underwater stuff, and the bass have been very responsive the last couple times I've been out here. So don't know what changed the day. I was really hoping we'd get at least one of those, but we'll give it a few more minutes before we tap out for the day. Oh, my I need more of this. Sup? Go to work. Yeah, go check it out. I mean, just be careful. It's like I said, even this little thing, there, you can't walk on everywhere, and there's a little bit of, I mean, like I said, there's a little bit of open water. There's a tube that connects two ponds here, and that's all open on that side. And then there's kind of a weird, abnormally open little pocket over here. I'm not really sure what that's from. But there's open water on this yet. So, I mean, just definitely be careful today, tomorrow, if checking anything out. Oh, we got a couple right now that are just right in the bottom doing the same thing. They're just, I mean, those fish have to be so tight that, I mean, their belly is touching bottom. They're that tight to it today. And really, I think I've only had four fish that have legitimately checked it out. 3 of them have eaten. Okay, what's going on? We got some stuff happening. All that talking about bottom, and I got something huge coming in at 3 foot. This isn't the big one that's about to bite. This is another one. Oh, it's still a stud gill. Holy cow, that thing's a tank. This wasn't even the big one. That's what's crazy. There was 2 big ones that I talked all about. These fish been right on the bottom, and then those were the first 2 that came up. Yeah, that's a great gill. Meaty dude. Anytime they get, damn it, if I could get it. You can always tell they're a good gill when they get kind of like this peck right on that front there. Whenever they get that notch, that's when you know that's a good gill. Yeah, that's a great one. Those are the ones that make me want to stay out a little bit longer. I was about to tag out here, and that was crazy. That was the first 2 that came up high. That's not a bad one. That's probably the biggest one of the day. I wish I would have caught the other one though. There was, like I said, there was two that came in super high like that. Oh man. Yeah, that was definitely good colors on that one too. I love that when you're, the fish color is usually based on the water clarity, and this place has really clean water, so you can get some really pretty fish out of it that have really good coloration to them. I just wish we could get a couple more to just kind of pick up the pace a little bit. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, we're right at an hour. That was the fourth fish. It's been pretty consistent too. About every 15 minutes, sometimes you can catch 4 fish in an hour, and it happens in 5 minutes, and then 55 minutes and nothing. Where it seems slower. They've been pretty spread out. Just one here, one there, and I'd say I've had 5 fish interested today so far, and 4 have bit. So any recommendations for an underwater camera? I'll take a second and show you this. I don't want to get up and move my legs anyways. So this is what I've been using for an underwater camera. This isn't designed for it or anything, but I've really liked it. It depends on what you want out of the underwater camera. So if you want it for when you're actually fishing, I don't have a recommendation. I don't know, but I'm going to show you this one here. So this is what I've been using. I don't know how you'll be able to see that. So this is my Insta360 camera, and we'll actually move it. Let's go find a different hole for it. So this is my Insta360 camera. I've kind of got it on like a ghetto drop shot here because that case will actually float. So it's been awesome though. So all the underwater shorts I've been posting lately, that's where I've been getting it all. I'll just drop that thing down there. I let it roll the whole time I'm fishing. And then when I get back home, just kind of drop it in here. So then when I get back home, I can just go through all that footage, and I've learned a ton just from having that thing in the water. Some of this place, I had no idea there was catfish in here, and there is a magnum channel cat in this place. No idea. Another pond I fished that I dropped it at, I didn't realize there was bass that big in there. So, I like dropping the 360. More is just I learn after the fact. Now, using it for actual fishing, can't say I got a recommendation on that kind of camera, but that's what I've been doing on that one. And not using it while I'm fishing, but I've certainly been learning a lot of stuff after the fact when I go through the footage. Man, I can still tell that cold, it knocks the breath out of me real quick. Let's see. It depends. If it's a big body of water, I definitely power fish. I'm all over ice fishing. I mean, with a scope, if you're not seeing something or seeing something pretty quick, get moving. So bigger bodies of water, I'm lot of holes, move, and the pond, I'll sit and wait. It's small. It's not deep really at any point. There's really no specific piece of structure like a brush pile, rock pile, anything to hold them to. So, and with the camera, this is something that I've just kind of figured out with the camera, is that all these fish are doing is just, and that's really fast. You'll actually see how slow the fish move, but they're just slowly floating around in here. So, on the pond, I'll just sit most of the time. There's, maybe 2 or 3 where I would kind of consider them the hot spots. They'll roll through, but a pond, I do a lot more just sit and wait, bigger bodies of water. If I'm not seeing something, I'm moving. So like up at Clear, I'm sure, fishing in the reeds, that's something I'm going to try and do a lot of when I go up there. The reeds, I'll be patient with. You're drilling into 2-3 foot of water. You're probably spooking everything out. You got to let them kind of settle down, come back to you. But So shallow water, I'm not afraid to sit there for a while. Ponds, I'll sit there for a while, but for instance, when I went to Hawthorne last weekend, and I was all over. I mean, I'm dropping down, giving it a minute, and if something, I'm boogieing on until I find something. One thing that's nice on that 360 camera too, just kind of going back to the underwater. Well, I'll answer that question first. So I'm using it's called the Tika Flash. It's kind of tipped with a wax worm. I actually could add another one to it. I normally put 2 on there, but that's what I've caught everything on today. Just that little Tika. I kind of got onto those this year, and I found I catch a lot more bass than normal with them. I've been doing pretty decent on largemouth dropping these things this year, and they still catch all your bluegills, crappies, and all that stuff the same. So, but the bass bite's been a little bit better with it. What's your favorite color? Orange. You know that. Good old orange, just like the Broncos. One thing on that underwater camera though, like with the 360, that's nice compared to other cameras is, I said I'll drop it, and I'm not using it when I'm fishing, but I'll use it afterwards just to learn, is, that thing is looking everywhere. So the vast majority of cameras on the market, it's looking just like this one is, directly at me. So, there could be fish the side, behind, there's just so much you're missing with that kind of camera, where obviously those kind of cameras you can use in real time, see your jig, stuff like that, but with the 360, when I can go backwards, or go back after the fact and then just look all encompassing of everything around me, you just get such a clearer picture. If I drop that camera and I'm only getting the one view, I would just miss so much. That's where it's nice to be able to go back, look all around, and I really have learned a lot this year. I've learned a lot just from this pond, just the way these fish behave, the way they move. Getting fish to bite on that camera though, so another thing I'll say too is they will not bite near that thing. I've tried it time and time again where I've had the camera, in the hole next to me. I've tried to get video of fish biting, and man, they are skittish to that thing. They will swim right up to it. They'll look it right in the eye. They'll get within 2 inches of the thing, but they will not bite when that thing is around. And actually, a lot of fish, so some fish will get 2 inches from it, but a lot of fish, it's like a dang force field. You'll see it on the scope, and they'll get 2 feet from it, and then they just park, and they don't do anything. So that's why I keep it away from me. Oh, we got some good ones coming on right now. Oh, I almost want to pull it away from this one because I want the second one on the screen right now. Oh, the second one's going to come in and get it. The first one sat there and played with his food for too long. Come on. Come on. Oh, you better not. They're both swimming away now. What the Come on. Oh, come on. Dang. All right. That was kind of surprising. two fish came on. One came right up to it, was kind of checking it out. The other one was just kind of hanging a couple feet back. And then that second one kind of darted. It really decided to come in. I'm kind of surprised at that point I didn't get bit, especially when there was 2 of them kind of, it seems like when there's a lot of times I feel like you have less lookers when it's the one fish coming to look at it is more prone to look and then swim away. But then when you have two or three come look at it, you're a lot more likely to get one that's going to bite. And the way that second one kind of came in on the first one like that, I'm pretty surprised it didn't bite. But oh well, I guess that is what it is. So now I would say we're we're 5 for 7. We've had 7 legitimate come-ins, 5 have bit. That's still not bad odds. I mean, there's some days where it's like 20-1 and they'll come look all day and you can't get them to bite. Those are some frustrating days on the ice. No, we got one. That might be a decent one. He's swimming away though. I'm not even gonna say that one was interested. Coming on the screen does not mean you want it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how much the live scope affects them. It certainly can. I mean, I can absolutely see it, especially on pressured stuff. I mean, a lot of the stuff I fish is a lot of small ponds, not pressured bodies of water. I try to make it easy on ice fishing, so I don't see the fish too affected by it. I mean, I'm in earlier, I'm in 3 foot of water with that thing. I mean, so it's like basically right above their head. I do think that fish can certainly get conditioned to it though. I think a lot of heavier fished bodies of water, yeah, I could certainly see the fish kind of get used to that as maybe an alarm bell or almost something to them. If they're super skittish on the day, yeah, any pinging sonar is gonna probably bother them to some extent, but yeah, the live scope certainly makes it way more interesting to it added, honestly, the live scope added a lot of life to my ice fishing because or sometimes with that flash I don't know, I just get bored watching it sometimes, where with this thing, even if they're not on screen, I'm definitely more engaged on this than with the flasher. It makes it more interesting for sure. How's the catch? Been solid. We got 5. Been out here just over an hour. I've had 7 that I would say have legitimately came in considering the bite, and 5 of the 7 have bit. So 3 of them really good. Oop, here we go. Actually, ooh, dang, that was crazy. That one just gone. I mean, it got scared from something. It came up like it was gonna bite, and then it was gone as quick as it came. So yeah, the bite's been okay. 5, a little over an hour. Kind of slow, kind of not. Where are you fishing? I'm in central Iowa, kind of over by Marshalltown. Small pond, super small pond. At that, it's still sketchy. I'm on good ice here. I'm on 5.5 to 6, but there's open water even on this pond, and some of the edges are not good. Some of the edges are fine, some are not. So take it with a grain of salt. I mean, this is not, I'm good where I'm at here and where I've been, but even on this little puddle, you could find yourself in some trouble today if you don't have a spud bar, don't know what you're looking for, kind of stuff. Oh, I'm gonna give it to about 12:30. We're gonna go. We'll go 15 more minutes. See if we can't get one more. Certainly was a good move compared to when we started. Started up there shallow, and the last couple trips, the stuff up shallow had been the deal, and definitely was not today. Now that we've kind of moved into the lower basin, we've been getting a bite every 10 to 15 minutes or so. Yeah, that's the biggest thing on the live scope is that forward, because there's a lot of I'm gonna stop real quick. We'll come back to that. I came in out of nowhere. Oops, that was a little high. Oh man, why does that bluegill look dead? That bluegill does not look good. I mean, I've caught bass that look like this, which is crazy because if you've just got on here, we've caught a lot of nice bluegills today, but that dude is not healthy. I mean, his eyes seem big compared to his body, and that is not a healthy dude. Oh, he's got like a, whatever that is. Gosh. Yeah, I feel bad for that one. He's not doing great. I mean, just weird. His fins are all... Oh, sorry, bud. I feel bad for you. You could have used a real meal. Yeah, exactly. Rest in peace, bluegill. No, the live scope in the forward, though, it is huge because... I can't tell you, how many brush piles I'll know in a body of water, and I'll go out there, and it's like, I know the dang brush pile's here, and I can't frickin' find it with my flasher. So that's where being able to put that thing down and forward, and then just go, oh, okay, it's 6 feet this way, and you're right there, you just miss it. And I've done that so many times with the flasher where I know the brush pile's there, and it's like, I just can't frickin' find it. Where like this thing, it's getting the area, you can find it. You learn how you just... I'm not sure I've ever caught a bluegill that looked that sick like that. That was not... That was a grody looking bluegill. That was a grody looking bluegill. Came out of nowhere too. That's the... He just kind of showed up right on it. I don't. I was actually going to ask. I was going to ask Kevin where the sleeper is actually set up and all that stuff, so I kind of could start planning that because, I'm going to try to be really boneheaded at Clear Lake. Anytime I've fished it, I've fished the little lake and I've caught all the little 2-3 inch perch with everybody else, but I'm going to really try and go against the grain on that trip. At least next weekend when I get up there and practice. Pretty much anywhere I can get away from people is what I'm going to try and do. Now come the following weekend, if that doesn't work out and I just need to go get in the crowd so we can all dink some fish and have some fun, we'll do that. But I'm really going to try and go against the grain a little bit on the practice fishing up there next weekend, and hopefully throughout the following weekend too, because it's a big lake, there's a lot of water, and there's 4 or 5 spots everybody kind of groups up into, but there's got to be just, I mean, it may be really hard to find, but if you can find that needle in a haystack out there, I mean, God, I gotta think that's just got to be some great fish. And if you can find an isolated pod of fish that no one's been messing with, and that may be very hard to do though, because that lake, it gets its ice fishermen. It gets hit pretty hard in winter, that's for sure. I'm just hoping that by the time we get up on Clear Lake, that we'll be able to get from the little lake to the big lake without having to load up. I don't know. That's something I don't know if you can get in with a side by side. Like, I know you can't go through the channel there, but kind of over close to McIntosh ramp there. I don't know if through that reeds over there, if you can get in between the little lake and the big lake, or obviously the channel cut out there you can't go through, but I seen that there were some pretty big ice heaves there a week or two ago, so I'm not sure that'll be accessible either. I'd like to be on the big lake if we had a choice, though. Yeah, ooh, here we go. Here we go. I'll see if I can show you guys one. I don't know how well this is going to work with. There we go. Look at that. I don't know what's going to happen if I set the hook with one hand holding the camera, but we'll try our best. Oh yeah, that's coming to bite. Oh, it bit. Come on, come back. There we go. Oh, I don't know what to do here. Okay, we'll try this one. Woo! Oh yeah, man, that's a meaty one. That's a meaty one. That went better than I thought. Oh man. I phone just almost went in the drink there, but I was just gonna say that went better than I thought it would. I'm trying to one hand, but yeah, it's a good gill. I got some pretty big hands too. Another good gill again. Peace out, dude. That went better than I thought it was going to. Trying to one hand one like that. I think we're up to what, 8 now? So yeah, it's not bad today. Not bad. Everything. Haven't even dropped anything else. I've been meaning to try my new rod, try my new plastics, and I just haven't put this down. Tikka flash, tipping it with a wax worm, and really been trying to get a bass today. I've caught a lot of bass on the this Tikka flash this year, and that's what's kept it in my hand. Is it seems like the potential for bass has been really good with it compared to some other things I've thrown. Bloop. That'd been a pretty funny way to end the live stream. The camera goes down the hole because that case is waterproof. So I wonder how long the live would have stayed going there. There's his. It just looks like a heave. Yeah, and this would have been just out of depth where I could have got it. If I was over in that other hole, I probably could have fished it out of there. But I mean, being that I could see the bottom in the other one. Come on, just give me one bass. One bass, and I'll just end it. I just been catching a lot. That's one thing too. Is the gills today we've caught have actually been good sized. The gills, I probably said it earlier in the live stream about the gills have kind of been down a little bit this year. There was that fish kill there midsummer, and then another thing that happened is, so this is kind of like a chain of ponds, and there's just like a road. I mean, literally, it's just a small little road that disconnects these two. And heavy rains, the ponds flooded a couple times this year, and I never have been able to catch a fish in the upper pond. But after those floods this year, I started catching fish in the upper pond. Well, the upper pond, I'm not sure it gets deeper than 3 foot anywhere. This one at least gets into like 9.5, 10 in a small area. But that one up there, those fish that moved up there, I don't know if they're going to survive winter. I really don't know how they do. I mean, the only saving grace is that there is water flow through it. It's like a series of ponds with creeks on, feeding it, and on the other side, so there is water flow through this system of little ponds. But a lot changed out here this year. There was the fish kill, the flooding, fish moved between the ponds, and I don't know how well those fish up there are going to survive this winter. So, but the size of the bluegills today have been good. This is more consistent with what was going on last year. Yeah, I think I've done Macintosh and Farmers. Macintosh, Farmers, and then I've been up there one time, and I don't even remember where I launched from. It was one of my I'm gonna go rogue missions, just try and find something else, and it didn't work out. But that's probably what I'll do next weekend. Next weekend might be a lot of work for nothing, but we're gonna definitely try and get away from everybody the best I can. And like I said, if we're in the crowds, we're in the crowds come the following weekend. Maybe one more. I like to do a lot of rod tapping. But that Tika Flash, that's one thing I really like to do, is just barely tap my rod. I'll kind of show you. Just that little spoon or little paddle, whatever you want to call that thing on the back. It just gets it dancing. Just that little tap of the rod. That's all you need. Instead of actually jigging it, and because I'm so shallow, I'm only in 7 foot, the water's clean, these fish get real skittish, where jigging it more and stuff, I've actually found can make them run from it. So that's where I'll just kind of dead stick it, and then just these real light little taps. That's all you need just to get that little back blade a moving. Yeah, don't quote me on it, but I think a side by side went through. Ooh, oh, that came out of nowhere. I think a side by side went through yesterday, around Farmers. I thought man, that's another just great gill. I was gonna leave at noon, and it's 12:30, and I said I was gonna leave at 12:30, and we're still going. Man, look at this one. This one's got a cool mark on it too. That's pretty sweet. I don't really know what causes that. You see bass with that sometimes, where they have like that marking on them like that, but another great gill. That's, Jesus. Keep catching them like that. We'll have to just keep staying out a little bit longer. All right, now we're going to 12:45. I have to leave at 1. I gotta leave at 1. I gotta go pick up my kiddo, so that is the absolute longest I can go today, but good gills. Got an anorexic one. I don't think I've ever seen that marking on a gill either. I've seen it on bass quite a few times. Never seen that on a... Yeah, man, I want to catch a catfish through the ice so bad. I posted a short, because I didn't know that there was catfish in here, and there's catfish in here. One of them is massive. I mean, it's big mama. It's hard to estimate because of the 360 camera, and it's just hard to estimate that. But I would guess it's close to a 25-pound channel. I mean, it would by far be the biggest channel catfish I've ever caught. It's massive, and with that camera I was talking about, it's kind of cool. I just learned stuff from it. I've only seen 3 catfish in here. Maybe that's all there is. I don't know, but it's pretty cool because they're almost like fighter pilots. They swim together. It's like the big one will be in the middle, and then there's maybe 2 that are 7 to 8 pound channels, and they'll just kind of swim on the sides by them, and they just follow that big one around. So like 3 catfish in here. I mean, there's probably one of my last shorts. If you go back to my shorts, there's probably a little bit of footage of that. But the 2 smaller 7 to 8 pound channels, they'll just swim with that big one, and they just kind of cruise around. So I'd love to catch one of those. I've never caught a catfish through the ice, and once I found that those were in here, that was kind of been a goal. I'm guessing I've probably hooked them probably a time or two. I've certainly lost some toads out here that I would have assumed were bass, but then after the camera, now that makes a little bit more sense. But I think a vehicle went through Clear Lake yesterday. Don't quote me on that. You don't know with the way you read stuff online anymore, and I read stuff quick and whatever not. But I swear I saw a post, I was reading it, that something went through yesterday on Clear, like a side-by-side or an ATV. Nobody was hurt. Everybody got out. But who knows? That could be AI. It could be completely fake. I don't know. But I read something went through yesterday. Nobody was hurt, but a machine busted through at least. Which I could see that happening right now. I mean, I was pretty concerned. Like I said, we've got a sleeper up there on the 9th through 11th, and I've been back and forth on it the whole time. Like, guys, this may not happen. And luckily, the weather's starting tomorrow. The weather is turning back in favor, and we'll be all right. But I really wanted to go to Clear Lake today or tomorrow to start practicing for that trip. I just don't got it in me after being sick. I get walking all around, and I mean, gosh, I went out for 2 seconds and that cold air hits me, and I'm just kind of a mess. But that's all right. That's why I just want to take it easy today, and next weekend we'll go give Clear a whirl and get ready for Bro Weekend up there. I think we're up to 9 now. That's not bad. Yeah, something like that. I know I saw something about someone going through and Sounds terrible, but about as soon as I read that everybody was okay, I just kind of scrolled along. But I did see something about something went through, and long story short, they were ultimately okay. It happens every year. It happens every year. I've only went through once. I'll tell you about that in just a sec. There's one time I went through. I was over at Rock Creek. It was late ice. You know, there was a foot out on the main lake, but there was open shorelines, and you know, I walked out. I used the dock. I used the dock to walk out. Walked off the dock. Totally fine. Fished all day. No problem. Well, when I was coming back in, I should have just went back to the dock and walked in the same way I came, but I tried to walk out a different way. And, you know, when I got maybe, I don't know, 30 feet from the bank, I took a step, and it just immediately I knew I'm going through. And I chucked my phone, and as soon as my feet hit the bottom, I knew I couldn't have been too deep. Luckily, I was only maybe 3.5, 4 feet deep. That's probably about chest deep. And as soon as I felt my feet hit the bottom, I just jumped right up. I was able to get myself right up, you know, belly up on the ice, kind of, I don't even know what I did. I just kind of wagged my way up onto the ice, and that still sucked. I mean, it was, you know, I was leaving. I was 20 feet from the shore. You know, I got right in my truck and left, and that was still hard. You know, it was a reminder of, you know, even in that situation, I was right there by the truck. I was already leaving. Just, that wasn't easy. The bibs get filled up with all the water, and that was rough. I mean, I should have known better. I did know better. You know, I should have just walked out the same way I came, but I just decided to take a shortcut, and I took a drink for it. So, kind of appreciate that happened, because I did. I learned a lot from it. I probably overestimated my abilities to get out of the ice prior to that. I probably underestimated the effect it would have on me. You know, I maybe had a little bit of that younger invincibility complex still when it came to that stuff, that, oh, I could get out, I'd be fine, whatever. And even in a situation like that, it was very rough. You know, I just didn't get startled or anything. I mean, I knew as soon as as soon as I took that step, I mean, I probably busted through 6 inches of ice. It just wasn't good, you know. Something my dad doesn't ice fish. He doesn't know any of this stuff like that. He's never ice fished in his life, but I tell him that all the time, that, you know, 4 inches of good ice early is better than 10 inches of bad ice late. I mean, that late stuff, it doesn't matter how thick it is. It can just give when it wants to give. It, you know, they start honeycombing, it loses its strength, and that's the kind of stuff I was on that day, and I should have walked out the way I came in. But it was a good lesson to learn in the situation I did. I mean, if I had broke through, you know, it was a good situation for a learning experience, I guess. Oh. I did the opposite this year. I got a float jacket, and I need to get the bibs now. I was gonna get the bibs. Bass Pro had the clam, whatever that ice armor is, one on sale, and I was gonna get the bibs, but they didn't have the bibs in my size, so I ended up getting the jacket first. But the float suit is a nice thing to have, even though I bought it this year, and then I found myself not wearing it very much, like right now. So I just get so dang hot too easy. I got high blood pressure like a madman, so I run hot as it is, and that's one thing. In the boat too, I get coats and I get all bulked up, and then you get out in the boat and it gets hard to fish sometimes, and you're just that bundled up and stuff. And come on, fish. Be interesting after this is done to review the camera footage and just see what's been going on, because it just doesn't seem like there's been a lot of, outside of what's came in to bite, there has not been a lot of activity. Been real quiet in between when something comes in or not. Yeah, that's how my dad is too. He'll sacrifice all his mobility for some warmth. But that'll also be his biggest complaint about fishing in the cold, is how bundled up he is. But yeah, I'd like to get outside the state in general and just go. I've never ice fished anywhere outside of Iowa, so yeah, it'd be fun to go up to Minnesota and try for walleye, northern, and I'd also like try and get up on the Mississippi, get into some of those backwaters. That's something I haven't done. I also haven't been to Bogie. That's another thing I need to. That's probably the most surprising, is that I've never ice fished Bogie, but maybe that'll happen this year. It's just a little bit out of distance for a day drive, so it typically would be a at least an overnight trip, and I think that's kind of what's kept me off of it. But come on. Yeah, I haven't been up. I should go to Minnesota on the boat too, just in general. Go get up there. Man, it's a lot of. I believe it's a lot of shallow grass lakes and stuff up there, which that's exactly my kind of fishing. Chatterbait, some jig frog, punch. Come on, guys. Come on. All right. Well, think I'm gonna call it for today. I went 45 minutes longer than I planned to. Hey, been a decent life, you know. Enjoy talking to you guys. I like doing these. I need to do them more. I wish I could do it in the boat more. That's one thing I'd really like to do it in the boat, but ice fishing, it's easy for me to engage with you guys, and that's something on the lives that I like to do. I don't want to just get this thing rolling and forget about everybody here, but you know, so ice fishing, it's easy to manage it, and I like doing it. Probably should do it a little bit more, but you know, hey, everything today, Tika Flash, didn't throw anything else, just tipped it with a waxy. Not really working it aggressively at all. It's pretty much just been dropping it down there, waiting for him to come in. Again, I'll kind of do just this real light little just tap of the rod, and that'll just kind of get that blade moving in the back. You know, when it's in the water, it'll do a lot more. But these pond fish, shallow water, they get real skittish. I'm not doing a lot of aggressive jigging. Just pretty much been dead sticking and then just the real light taps. But you know, we caught 9 or so. Some interesting fish. One bluegill had some cool markings. One had 1 foot in the grave. A lot of good sized ones too. So you know, hey, been a good trip. Appreciate you guys checking it out. Next weekend, probably get up on Clear Lake. Hopefully I can get a video done for that, kind of get back on track. I haven't been doing a ton lately, just been sick, other things have been going on, and it's good to get out here today and do a little something. So hey, appreciate you checking it out, guys. Subscribe for more Iowa fishing. Until next time, peace.